An anime begins with Tato Klein, a weak orphan boy who was raised inside a military academy to become a soldier. But in that academy, nobody saw him as a future warrior. For everyone else, Tato was just a useless, unlucky orphan, the kind of boy they could bully, insult, and laugh at without fear. But even after getting treated like trash, Tato never fully broke. In this lonely world, only one person stood beside him, Mikage, his best friend, his support, and almost the only family he had left. Both of them believed that after graduation, their painful life would finally change. But Tato had no idea that the army he trusted as his future was secretly hiding the darkest truth of his past. It all begins in a world where wars and violent conflicts are part of normal life. And then we see Tato studies in an academy where students are trained in military skills so they can become strong soldiers. But because he is an orphan inside that military academy, other children constantly bully him and push him around. Still, in that harsh place, he has one true friend named Mikage, someone who stays beside him through every good and bad situation. Both of them attend light classes because they dream of becoming elite soldiers, and soon their ceremony is close to ending, meaning they are about to graduate. Before graduation, however, they must pass one final test, and Mikage says the test may be very difficult, so passing it might not be easy. Tato tells him with firm belief, "No, I will pass it no matter what. That is my only goal." After saying this, both of them return to their dorm room, where they continue talking. During their conversation, Mikage tells Tato that he is like a part of his family. Later that night, just when Tato is about to fall into frightening dreams, he wakes up and starts telling Mikage that he is an orphan, and until now, the only person who has truly stood with him is Mikage, so he considers Mikage his family. Hearing this, Mikage makes a promise that he will always stand firmly by Tato's side in every good and bad situation. After this, the next day is shown, where the students are given their final mission. In this mission, they have to defeat a criminal who has already murdered many people, and the rules are clear. During the fight, no one is allowed to run away, and no one is allowed to lose against him. Then the criminal is brought inside, and he looks like Captain Sparrow with an eye patch over one eye. He says that if he kills these students, a little part of his sentence will be reduced. After saying this, he kills many of their friends, and because of that, only 2 people remain standing on the battlefield. An army chief named Ayanami is watching all of this from nearby, and he has arrived there with several other soldiers. The moment he appears, the whole atmosphere changes. The children who are being beaten are finished one after another, and only Mikage and Tato survive. Tato manages to distract the criminal for a moment, and Mikage uses that chance to attack him. Tato jumps and grabs the criminal's hand, while Mikage strikes his chest, but the criminal suddenly catches Mikage. To save him, Tato kicks the criminal in the face, then uses his Xiphon, a technique also known as a skill, and manages to restrain him. Their mission in charge orders Tato to kill the criminal, but Tato refuses to do it and simply ignores the command. At that moment, Ayanami steps forward, kills the criminal himself, and calls Tato a soft-hearted person. Later at night, Mikage is about to sleep, but Tato asks him who that white-haired man was. Mikage explains that he was Army Chief Ayanami, a man who has killed countless people on the battlefield. Then he asks why Tato even cares about him, because they are going to graduate the next day anyway. The next day, when Tato goes to submit the documents, he suddenly hears a voice coming from a necklace, and his mind becomes strangely drawn toward it. He follows that feeling and peeks through a door, where he sees Ayanami talking and saying that they need to find the owner of this necklace quickly, and that they must locate a crystal called Michael as soon as possible. As Tato looks at that necklace, old nightmares begin flashing inside his mind, and this time he clearly sees the face of the person who killed his father. That person is none other than Ayanami himself. Seeing Ayanami's face inside his dream fills Tato with anger, and he attacks him using Xiphon. But one of Ayanami's minions grabs him and warns, "Take one more step, and we will kill you." At the same time, Ayanami becomes suspicious of Tato. He takes him prisoner and tries to pull out every possible piece of information connected to the necklace. Even Tato's dorm room is searched. That same night, Tato's closest friend, almost like his brother, Mikage, comes to rescue him. By then, Tato has already defeated several officers and freed himself. He wants to escape because he knows these people will now be thirsty for his blood, so Mikage also prepares to run away with him. The 2 of them move out, but they do not know that some soldiers are already blocking the path. Because of this, Tato makes Mikage act like his hostage. He apologizes to Mikage and says he has no other choice. Mikage tells him not to only think about saving his life, but to save himself too. After saying this, he urges Tato to run. Tato boards a flying ship and escapes from the place, while Mikage stays behind, but Ayanami damages that ship slightly. Because of that, the damaged ship flies only for a short while before crash landing on some people who were heading out for a picnic. It hits a mountain and falls on a boy named Frau. When Frau sees a child near him, his companions start teasing him and say, "So now you've become a babysitter?" On the other side, the chairman of the military academy is shown angrily saying, "How did you dare lose Tato? Find him as quickly as possible." At the same time, the army says Tato must have gone to the church in the 7th district, but they are forbidden from entering that place, so they cannot do anything to him there. Meanwhile, Tato opens his eyes, and when the 3 men see him, they wonder what a child is doing there. Tato immediately attacks Frau and tries to escape, but Frau moves very fast and catches him. He says, "Why are you in such a hurry to die, kid?" After saying this, he hangs Tato up in that place. Just then, Frau's friend arrives, takes Tato away from him, kicks Frau, and says he cannot treat a child like that. Tato asks where he is, and Castor, the man holding him, explains that he is inside Barsberg Church. After saying this, Castor asks what Tato is doing there, because the marks on his body make it clear that he is in serious trouble. On the other side, Frau tells him he should not be wandering around at night like this, and asks what his parents would think. Tato wants to leave because he believes Mikage must have become their prisoner by now, but the people at the church tell him to stay there and rest. At night, Tato tries to sleep there, but he keeps thinking about Mikage, so he attempts to go and save him. However, his legs give up, and he collapses unconscious in the same place. When he opens his eyes again, 3 sisters are standing near him. They help him up and take him back to his room, treating him almost like a princess, the kind of care most people do not even receive from their girlfriends. While Tato's life is moving like this, Mikage is shown as Ayanami's prisoner. Ayanami asks him why he helped Tato and why he saved him, saying he wants to know the full truth from him. On the other side, Tato wakes up, and as he starts walking around the church, he sees many people coming there to cure their curses, which are known as the curse of the god of death. After seeing all this, Tato becomes surprised and wonders what kind of work the people of this church actually do. He goes to the library to learn more, but while searching through the books, he sees a skeleton nun. He gets terrified and screams loudly, and because of that, Frau comes there and saves him, just like a groom saving his new bride. However, the real reason Frau saves him is something else. At the same moment, Castor arrives and explains that the doll Tato is seeing, the one shaped like a nun, was invented by him. While he is talking about the nun, the doll pulls out a book, and as soon as Frau sees that book, he quickly grabs it and runs away with Tato. Then Frau explains that there was nothing important inside the book. It was just his personal collection, and he shows Tato pictures of half-naked girls. Tato is shocked after seeing this, but then that same doll nun comes and beats Frau. Castor says he never expected Frau to do such things too. On the other side, Tato wants to know what happened 10 years ago. Castor tells him that long ago, there were 2 kingdoms. One was Barsberg, and the other was the Rags Kingdom. Both Barsberg and Rags had divine protection, and there were 2 crystals that could channel that power. The Rags Kingdom tried to attack Barsberg, but in the end, it was destroyed itself. Hearing this story leaves Tato stunned, but he wants to know the real truth, so he decides he will investigate it on his own. He runs and reaches a place where there is a huge statue. A nun tells him that these are the 7 gods who tried to punish the god of death, because when the god of death came here to torment people, the chief of heaven sent 7 gods who sealed him away. She says this statue belongs to one of them, whose name is Zahel. After saying this, the nun takes Tato to God's domain, which is the name of a hall inside the church. There, Labrador is shown giving Tato a silver rose, which is a symbol of protection. After that, we see that all the nuns take great care of Tato along with the others, but Tato is still trying to escape from the church. Frau catches him and says he cannot go anywhere because he is still too weak. The announcement is made that the gates are closing, and Tato wants to run from there, but he cannot stop Frau because Frau is much stronger than him. At the same time, Castor says that maybe Tato is trying his best to escape, but he will fail because Frau will not let him leave, so he should stay there for now. Then Castor places the silver rose on Tato's face, making him look like a beautiful man. On the other side, many nuns are shown inside the cafeteria. After that, Tato's princess treatment starts all over again. The nuns begin feeding him with their own hands, and then they even try to make him eat eyes. Seeing this, Tato is completely shocked and asks how meat can be served inside a church. The nuns calmly explain that it is not meat, it is eyes, and anyone can eat eyes because they are not the same as meat. After saying this, they start eating them one by one, and once they say the taste is actually very good, Frau tells Tato that he should try some too. The moment Frau says this, Tato suddenly eats it straight from Frau's hand, leaving Frau surprised. Frau then says that the military academy must have been feeding him grass and leaves, and that is why he is so weak, but if he eats proper food here, he will become strong. On the other side, Tato finds it so tasty that he keeps eating piece after piece without stopping. All the nuns become happy after seeing him eat like that, and Tato quietly wins their hearts. In the middle of this warmth, Tato remembers his friend Mikage, and the nuns understand that they should not ask him anything more, so they simply cheer for him. Later, Tato is shown inside his room, while on the other side, the chairman of the military academy says that Tato could have become Michael's successor, and angrily asks why they even needed to torture him. He orders everyone to find Tato as quickly as possible. Just then, Ayanami arrives and explains that Tato carries the academy's mark. Once people see that mark, they will not be able to protect him for long, because protecting him would mean going against the academy. That means he will have no safe shelter anywhere, and in the end, he will be forced to return to the military academy. After this, Tato is shown sitting alone at night. When one of the nuns calls him to sleep, he quietly goes with her, still surprised by how much the nuns help him. Nothing like this ever happened to him inside the academy, where everyone used to bully him. One day in the past, when a boy was bullying Tato, Mikage stepped in and beat that boy badly. After that incident, Tato and Mikage became friends, because both of them were punished together for hurting that child, even though the child had been bullying Tato first. That was how their bond began. Tato now knows very well that Mikage helped him escape from the academy, so he must be getting punished there because of him. He cannot let his friends suffer that punishment alone. Around that moment, an old man appears and tells Tato that he looks deeply lost. The old man says his own family is gone too, and he also has nowhere to go, but asks Tato what would happen if his wish came true. He tells Tato to speak about his wish and says he will surely fulfill it. Tato then says that he cannot remember his past and his friend is in danger because of him, so no matter what happens, he has to save him. Hearing this, the old man says that Tato's wish can indeed be granted and tells him to meet him at the same place at midnight. After saying this, the old man leaves. Tato also tries to run away from there, but Frau appears and says he will not let him go anywhere because he is still far too weak. Tato refuses to listen and uses his Xiphon, but he does not know that Xiphon is not the only power that can support someone in battle, and defeating Frau with it is nearly impossible because Frau is truly a very strong man. Then we are told about Xiphon, a god-given power that only a few humans receive, and those who can use it often become powerful figures in the future. Meanwhile, Frau dodges all of Tato's Xiphon attacks with almost no effort. He does not even need to use his full strength. Labrador and Castor calmly watch their fight from the side. Tato realizes that if he wants to defeat Frau, he has to bring out even more power from his Xiphon. He does exactly that, increasing the force of each attack one after another. Every time he strikes, he tries to push his Xiphon beyond the previous level, but Frau keeps teasing him by calling him weak. This makes Tato pour in even more power, yet he still cannot harm Frau at all. Not even a scratch appears on him. Frau tells him that he needs to become stronger, and after saying that, he makes it clear that they will not allow him to leave the church. Then Frau knocks him unconscious. Labrador catches Tato and says Frau is being a little too harsh on the child, but Frau replies that this is the only way. After that, Tato is shown having a terrible nightmare, where Ayanami is torturing Mikage brutally while using his family's name against him. Then Tato remembers the old man who told him to meet at midnight, so he goes to that same place. The old man says that if Tato wants his wish granted, they must first examine his dream. Then he asks Tato to say his wishes again. Tato explains them one by one. His first wish is to take revenge on the Barsberg soldiers for what happened to his family, and his second wish is to save Mikage, his only brother-like friend and companion, the first person in his life who ever reached out to him. Mikage put his own life in danger for Tato, so if Tato cannot even save him, then what kind of friend would he be? The old man says both of those wishes can be fulfilled, but Tato must say by himself that he wants him to grant them. As soon as Tato says it, the old man moves his hand toward Tato's face and starts pulling his soul out. Just when Tato's soul is being drawn toward him, the three bishops arrive: Frau, Castor, and Labrador. They tell the old man that he has made a mistake. The old man replies that his master wanted Tato's soul and would be very pleased, but Frau says he will never allow him to take Tato's soul away. Tato cannot understand what is happening. At that moment, Frau pulls out his scythe and begins attacking the old man. Tato also tries to help him, but they stop him, because even a slight mistake could hurt the old man or bits off the old man's wing. The moment the wing breaks, Tato's soul returns to his body. Tato starts wondering what just happened. Castor calmly says it was nothing, only that Tato's soul had almost been pulled toward darkness and the one responsible for it was a core. Hearing the name core shocks Tato, and he asks what a core even is. The old man finally returns to his senses, and they begin taking him away from that place. Then the scene shifts to Frau, who lifts Tato and carries him back to his room. Tato asks why Frau keeps treating him like this. Frau says that if he had not been there, Tato's life would have been in danger. After saying this, he starts removing the god of death's curse from Tato's body. Bit by bit, he clears it away, and tells Tato to sleep peacefully. The next day, Tato wakes up and starts walking around the church. He is amazed because he was never allowed to go outside the academy, and the sight of the church under sunlight feels new to him. The nuns are washing clothes nearby, so he walks forward to speak to one of them, but then he realizes she is washing his pants too. Seeing this embarrassing scene, Tato becomes angry, snatches the pants from her hand at high speed, and runs away. As he keeps running, he crashes into Frau. Frau teases him and says he did not even see a tiny dwarf coming before bumping into him. Tato apologizes for his mistake, but Frau becomes irritated after seeing his mood, so he takes the pants from Tato's hand and throws them into the air again. Tato runs into more embarrassment and reaches a place where he sees a half-mermaid. He is shocked after seeing her, and then her name is revealed as Lizette. Looking at Lizette, the others say she seems very impressed by Tato, and maybe her heart has fallen for him. After this, Labrador shows him the old man who has now recovered. The old man meets his child and grandchild, then leaves from there. Tato still wants to know what a core is, so Castor explains that it began with God. Before God sent humans to Earth, he allowed them to fulfill 3 wishes. Once those 3 wishes were completed, they were called back to heaven. However, Core would fulfill those wishes early and then drag those humans into darkness, making it impossible for them to meet God again. Castor asks Tato to keep the matter of Core secret because no one else should know about it except them. Tato nods and says he will also fulfill the 3 wishes he once made to God. After saying this, he starts thinking about Mikage. Meanwhile, on the other side, the soldiers are thinking of different ways to torture Mikage. Tato remembers Mikage as the friend who stood by him, while the scene shifts to Mikage, who is also thinking about Tato. Ayanami arrives and asks Mikage why he helped Tato. He tells him that his sister has come to meet him and asks whether Mikage wants to put his sister's life at risk just to save Tato. Mikage replies that Tato is his friend, and he cannot betray him. He says he made a promise and his family will understand his decision. These promises between both friends now seem as if they may truly be tested. Back at the church, many bishops are watching Tato carefully, wondering why he is living such a quiet and boring life. Tato, however, worries that maybe they have discovered he is the Prince of Rags. Just then, Lizette comes and asks him to go somewhere with her. She takes him to the chapel, where prayers are being held. As soon as Tato enters, he hears many people praying, and those voices begin pulling memories of his past back into his mind. He remembers his father taking Michael's eye out of his necklace and handing it to him, saying that in the future, Tato would help the people of Rags. Remembering this makes Tato deeply sad, because instead of saving Rags, he became a target of the Barsberg soldiers. He starts wondering how he can survive and how he can save his friends. At the same time, seeing the nuns around him makes him feel strangely comforted, because the nuns and bishops live together as if there are no problems in the world. All the bishops keep their eyes on him, trying to understand what he is thinking. But Tato's thoughts stop completely when he suddenly sees Mikage inside the same church. Mikage has come there. As Tato walks forward, he sees Mikage running toward him, and the moment he reaches him, Tato hugs him tightly. Seeing his friend again makes Tato cry because Mikage has finally returned to him. Yet behind that happiness, a fear rises inside him. What if this is a trap set by the army chief? Mikage had been taken prisoner, so how did he escape and reach him so easily? Labrador then gives a prophecy, saying that in the future, this very thing may become the cause of Tato's death. Hearing such a prophecy leaves the other bishops shocked too. Still, Tato expresses his happiness at Mikage's arrival and tells him he can stay there. Mikage feels relieved after seeing that Tato is living safely inside the Barsberg church. He explains that he came there to meet him and had followed their ship. When he found the ship, it was near the church, so he came there. Hearing this makes Tato feel a little uneasy, because he knows this could still be one of Ayanami's plans. Frau tells him that when his friend has come all this way, he should at least enjoy the moment a little, especially since until recently he used to cry every day. Hearing Frau speak like that annoys Tato even more, and he tells them to leave. On the other side, they hand Mikage a magazine, the same kind of magazine Tato has seen before. Tato gets angry and tells them again to go away. Once they leave, Frau says he feels Mikage may have come with some kind of hidden plan, because it feels almost impossible that he escaped the Imperial Army and arrived there so suddenly. Frau is clearly worried, and Castor says Labrador's prophecies are never wrong, so all they can do is wait. Then the Archbishop arrives and says Animal Blessing Day is coming, so they should prepare for it and make sure nothing goes wrong. After this, the scene shifts again. From here, the scene shifts to a quiet place where Tato and Mikage have come to talk peacefully. Mikage tells him clearly, "Before you misunderstand anything, let me say this first. The Imperial Army released me on their own. Tato hears this and immediately says that cannot be true because those people would never stop chasing him so easily. Mikage explains that they gave him two choices: choose his family or choose Tato, and he chose Tato. After enduring Ayanami's torture for some time, they finally let him go. The words sound simple, almost too simple, and Tato can feel that something about this story may not be true, so he warns Mikage to stay away from Frau, because that man may wear the face of a bishop, but he is more like a devil, and Tato still does not understand how Frau found his location so easily. Hearing this, Mikage says Frau actually feels like an elder brother to him, so Tato should treat him properly and show him some respect. Before their conversation can settle, a strange man appears and introduces himself, saying he has come to take them away. Both of them are shocked, and then the man opens his wings, revealing that he is a core, one of those beings that drags human souls toward darkness, just like the old man tried to do before. The core attacks them, and Tato quickly steps in front of Mikage, telling him to move away because he cannot let Mikage's life fall into danger again. Mikage refuses to listen, and both friends use their Xiphon attacks together to fight the core. The enemy is strong, and even with their Xiphon power, stopping him is not easy. They struggle badly, but when the fight moves back toward the church, Frau arrives and defeats the core with almost no effort, turning him back into a normal human. Frau then tells them that this is not the way they should be fighting. Later that night, while Mikage and Tato are resting, Tato finally tells Mikage that he is the heir of Rags. Mikage is stunned after hearing this, and he tells Tato that when he was 5 years old, his father fought against the Rags Empire. Whenever Mikage asked why his father looked so happy, his father would say it was because he had killed his enemies. Now, Mikage realizes that his own friend is the heir of those same enemies, and this truth leaves him shaken, but he also says he never truly understood why people fight in the first place. To him, war feels meaningless because everyone is human, and people should be able to live together instead of destroying each other. Hearing this makes Tato happy from inside, because even after knowing that he is the heir of Rags, Mikage still sees him as his friend. Their conversation continues for a long time, until Mikage says he has only come here for a short while and will leave after that. He only wanted to make a few memories with Tato before going away. Tato stands up and asks what he really wants to do. Mikage then tells him that if he is thinking of taking revenge for his empire, he should not do it because revenge will only lead to more death and destruction. He says Tato still has a chance to live a normal life, so why does he not run far away from all of this and choose peace instead? After saying this, Mikage goes to sleep while Tato remains confused, wondering why his friend is speaking like this.